Welcome back, guys. I am Mellowseven, and this is, well, eventually it will be Path of Exile. So, I said in the last episode that we would do one more portion of our first look of Path of Exile, and we would add the most common mod that I've seen used, or that I use, and that happens to be a loot filter. So, a loot filter, what it does is it actually changes how all the drops are displayed on your screen. Normally, Path of Exile shows everything or it shows nothing. Those are your options. I believe you can hit Alt maybe and it will, or Alt or Tab, I don't remember which. Anyway, it'll show everything if you have it turned off. Then you can kind of pick and choose and find what you want. Well, we don't always want to see everything. In fact, most of what we see is garbage to us, even starting. Now, we can pick it all up, we can take it back, we can sell it in to get currency items that we can use for crafting later. That's true. And maybe at some point you'll want to do that, maybe early, but most of the time, probably not. You're just going to be looking for stuff that you want. And so you want some idea, some way to filter all that out and make sure you don't miss the important stuff, the super rare drops that just end up in a crowd of mess and you don't normally see, or what have you. So the first thing to do when you want to get a loot filter is you just come up to your search engine of choice, and I'm going to say PO for Path of Exile loot filter. There we go. And so you can see here we've got Neversink, we've got Ziggy, we've got a bunch of other videos on how to set them up. So if you want more specific details on how to do that, you can check out one of them. I've got both Neversink and Ziggy's loaded. So when you download them, you essentially need to copy them into a directory. And in this case, that directory happens to be Documents, My Game, Path of Exile, and then you can see right here, these are all of our loot filters, right? And this is where they go. Now, these are editable. So if you know more than I do, or care to learn more than I do, you can come in here and you can open with, say, WordPad. I think WordPad gets everything lined up nicely, formatted properly. And you can go through here and you can read through Neversink or whoever's, and you can see exactly how it's set up. Okay? So this is where all the rules are set up. And you can see it's long because there's a lot of stuff in there. Now, there's all sorts of different ways you can modify this loot filter to make sure you know what you're getting. You can have a sound play, you can have the color of the banner behind the name change, you can have the size change, you can add outlines, you can do all sorts of stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll get in game and we'll kind of see how it actually all works. So we want to go to, let's see, installed Path of Exile. So we are, for the sakes of this video, just doing a straight screen grab rather than a game capture. So there may be pop-ups here. Hopefully I'm sitting in front of them in case something weird pops up. You never know. Worst things can happen, right? Right? Like the guy on Twitch that was doing this, that was searching, and the autofill added some crazy like porn search engine that apparently was common for him. Yeah, I did all my searches ahead of time to make sure that wasn't going to be a problem. All right, let's go ahead, log in real fast. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try my new Ranger that I've been playing because I've really been enjoying that. You can see I've played a little bit more. I do have my Templar played up quite a bit. I've got to a point where he's fairly tanky, but he has absolutely no offense. The exact opposite of my Ranger here, who is all offense and a complete glass cannon. Seems appropriate. So let's go ahead and we will get in. Let's see, find the... I was playing this last night when a house guest managed to turn off all the power to my router and kick me out of the game. So let's go ahead and try it again. It's a good thing I'm not playing on Iron Man, right? We would be done. We can't go to there, so Crossroads. We'll see how this goes. I made the world dark with my last finished mission, so now we need to go make the world light again. No idea if I'll be able to do that with this character. Like I say, I'm very, very offensive on this character. So we're just going to kind of continue to run through here. Kill a few things as we go. So for those of you that may, is it XP. There you go. For those of you that are interested in kind of my own personal deal right now, we've kind of run around here, projectile damage, ballistic mastery down to primal spirit to get a little bit extra mana because we desperately need it. We have finesse, attack speed, accuracy, dex. That helps whether you've gone melee or with a bow. Druidic Rite again because my mana just burns through. Quick step for a little advanced attack speed and movement speed, especially just to make the game go a little bit faster. And down here to toxic strikes and the poison stuff. So we do more poison damage. We have more chance to poison. And yeah, we increase everything with poison right there. We've also come across here. We got Aspect of the Eagle. So this is all bow stuff. We're going to run down here. I don't really know much about Frenzy at this point. I just had two ways. I could go either through a jewel socket or through fervor. I don't have any jewels. Just like we can plug jewels into our weapons, we can also plug jewels into here. And I don't have any... That's not true. I probably do have jewels. I haven't found any jewels on this character, but I found them on another character, so I probably do actually have them. I may have to rethink that before we dump more points into this. I've got refunds left, so we may go here, and then if we have to refund, we can. But my goal is to get up here where we've got heavy draw, so more physical damage, stun threshold, all that good stuff with bows, and here, which is more stuff with bows. And then, of course, we've got all the little, you know, bow damage, attack speed, and just straight damage and chance to bleed up here. The weapon itself, my gear, right now I am running Caustic Arrow, which does chaos damage to enemies, which is what poison is. Chaos damage ignores energy shields if they happen to have them. You see I've got 46 points there. It just skips that and goes right to the body. And then lesser poison support, so I have an additional 40% chance to poison, and it adds a little bit more damage. And then this physical projectile attack damage, so we do more damage with bleeding and poison caused by projectile hits, which is what we're doing. More physical damage, and we slow the projectile does slow down a little bit. So that's the negative on that. I guess we could have sold all this crap while we were there. Now we're going to start to see how things are. So these are here. It's got tells us the color gem it takes and medium life fast. So we just have the two things there. So that doesn't help us a whole lot. Let's go find where we got a big bunch of stuff to drop, and we'll see how that goes. Whoops. So what happens is I hit these guys, and that creates a little poison thing, and then they die. Hopefully, that's the plan anyway. Whoops. And the nice thing is, other people in the area, you can see they just all go down with that. Go down. So now you can see here we've got, this is a better look at what our loot shield does. So, Orb of Alchemy is very big. Orb of Transmission. These are currency items, and they can be used for crafting, so you want those. Now it's got some other stuff here. It thinks this U spirit is important. I don't know why. And you can see if we hold this down, you can see there were a couple items it didn't show us at all. So these are items that it didn't think were important. We weren't going to need them at all. Everything else here, for some reason, it thinks. Superior. You can take superior items and convert them, and they're going to give you better base stats. So maybe a normal oiled vest only has an evasion rating of 50 and an energy shield of 12 or something like this. Quality can go up to 20%. You can use various either weapon or armor. Armor scraps is used for armor, whetstones is used for weapons, to increase quality of an item. So if it's a gray, just an unmagic normal item like this, they'll add 5%. If it's magic or rare or any of that, it will only add 1%. So if you want to make a weapon magic, a normal one, you want to convert it into something, you're better off doing all of your quality upgrades first. So dump, say, 4 whetstones into a weapon, get its quality up to 20, and then convert it to a rare or magic item. It just saves you a little bit of time and money. Otherwise, it would take you 20 of that same whetstone to get your item, your weapon up there. So there we go. And you see he got up, and we never shot him. It was just the poison. I do have this other rain of arrows, and we have life gain on support with that. So as we hit people, I get 16 life for each enemy hit by that as well. We also have Val Burning Arrow. That's right here. It builds up energy charges, and when it's ready, it will go. And text messages talking about the fight last night. If you happen to watch the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight, I have a buddy that called it damn near perfect. Other items, we've got this blink arrow that lets me move from one place to another. We shoot the arrow up, I pop up. It leaves a double there who will shoot as well if there's something to actually shoot for a little while. And I think that's it right now, right? Did we do this one? Vowels. Oh, and I have a rejuvenation totem. Throw that up. This will heal me. You know, as long as this is running, then I'm getting healed. So that's the setup for the moment. Let's see what we can get done in a reasonable amount of time here. These things are kind of my worst enemy at the moment. This is new to this league. There's one guy that you can't kill, and he continues to summon other mobs, and as you kill those mobs, you slowly knock down the other guy's health. His life is tied to theirs. And so you can't kill that guy until they come down. And they sometimes come in pretty serious. And so you never really know. I actually had one drop right on a boss, so I had to fight them and a boss at one point. A couple times I've had two of them on top of each other, and they just bum rush you. And yeah, I can't kill them with one hit, unfortunately. So come on, there we go. There's a little bit of a delay on how often I can launch that rain of arrows thing, and I often find myself waiting for it. We can see how fast his health goes down once we've poisoned him. Now, you can come in here. You can see I don't really need much of what it's showing me, right? So clearly, I've got it set a little bit much. I forgot to talk about this. When we come in here and we go to our options, UI maybe? UI. List of item filters. Any of those .filter lists that you have in that directory, you can pick. So I'm on Ziggy Loot right now. We could maybe go, let's try Never Sinks Strict. Now, he saved this a little bit differently. So now you can see we had a change in how these things are displayed. Right? He thinks this painted buckler is important. More important than Ziggy did. And this bone shield has that there. So we can come in here and we can change all of this. So let's go say Never Sink. Not a huge change from his strict to his not strict in this case. Let's see, very strict. Save. Again, our items here all happen to be apparently saved much the same way. But let's go with, let's just go with strict. I do have plenty of basic rings at the moment, so we don't need those. And I could come in here, like say individually, and say, I really need ruby rings for a while. Make sure I change that so it's going to pop up with a color and a sound and everything else. But we don't, so we'll just keep running for the moment. Probably don't really need to be wasting any time on looting any of this right now, because there we go. Knock off Crypt Biter before he gets a chance to do anything. Oh, he had like 2 hit points left. That bum. Oops. Let's make sure that we're not... I do want Scrolls of Wisdom. So let's knock this back at least one more level here and see what happens. You need those to identify items. I should have left it on the ground so I'd know if it's going to show up or not. We're gonna have to check a couple times to see where we're at. Oops. Is that what we want? Is that the pyramid entrance? No, but it is a crypt. We do need this too. Let's go ahead and see what this is. We got an optional quest here, and it's got a waypoint. That's nice. Find the golden hand. Okay. Silver coins are interesting. They're from a previous one. You collect them. There's like a fortune teller lady that you can go see, and she can give you a prophecy. In fact, we're not very deep into this. Let's go ahead and we'll just kind of. Alt. Okay, not seeing anything dropped on the ground that we absolutely need. Looking to see if we have any those scrolls dropped. Just pop out, double. I can't see anything because everything's there. Okay, good. My scroll of wisdom does show up now. Oh, there we go. That's who our problem is right here. Let's finish Marana off. Okay, there you go. So, this is a great spot to showcase this loot filter. So, if we were to come in here and we go options and we would just say none. Okay? Everything shows up as dropped, right? And we could turn that off and on so we don't care. There's a default one. Doesn't change anything. So now we can start working our way through. This is his regular. This is his strict. I'm not sure I'm seeing a whole lot of differences here. I guess we're beginning to get some things that are disappearing. Let's go all the way up to his uber strict. Save. No, I'm not sure that there's any saves here. I think this is all the exact same one for... No, that's not true. We did see... There we go. Scroll of Wisdom's back. There's just not a lot of changes. Let's see, we want to make sure we keep that Scroll of Wisdom, so we need semi-strict. Okay, and then I'll have to figure out how to change this to add that up, because I don't really need all this crap. If we go down to Ziggy's, you can see Ziggy doesn't do as much different types of looks with his, but my Scroll of Wisdom does show up as a high priority, so that's always good. He somehow likes stone hammers, and I'm not sure why. Does Neversink like stone hammers? Nope. Nope. I think what I really want is this one right here, the strict. But with Scrolls of Wisdom. So I'll have to figure out how to edit that, but that's something new. So let's go ahead and grab the stuff he thinks is important. Oh, no, maybe we won't. Let's, how much crud... You know what we're going to do? We'll just portal scroll. We can always come back and get more of it. Save. Yep. Sorry, it specifically asked us if we wanted to. Now, we come over here. This is Navali, so we can talk to her about a prophecy. We can seek a prophecy. Bam, there we go. The undead storm.
Take the shape of the men they once were.
Bones fall from the sky and take the shape of the men they once were. You'll discover an area with a morbid tempest. Okay, so at some point we're going to run into that and kill it, hopefully. When we get into the area with it, it will actually show us that quest right here. It'll be in purple over here and say, hey, you have this prophecy in this area, so you'll know to look for it. You can see here's some basic challenges. Harbingers, those are those blue guys we were talking about earlier. Open strong boxes, items from vendors. Obviously, I'm not doing enough crafting. We need to do that. Defeat these Act 1 bosses. I've still got 2 of those to do. Unique monsters. I haven't got any of them. Anyway, you can see there's all these challenges here. And here's some achievements we've managed to pick up as well as we've gone. So let us... here, we'll go here first. So, sell items. Now, this is how you do your crafting. You just sell stuff to her, and if you have the right combination of things, then she'll give you something else back. So, a normal item, increased armor, okay, gets us something. Just a basic whatever. In this case, because it's a rare item, we get alteration shards. If it's a normal item, we'd get 1 scrap. 5 scraps gives us 1 portal scroll. We can check some of these. Anything else we need to... Nope, that's it. Now, energy shield, intelligence, fire, cold. I have really bad resistances right now, so I'm looking for things that may be an upgrade to resistances, even to help my defense, even if they don't make me more offensive. We don't use a shield, so this should give us 1 of those scraps. There we go. 5 of those gets us a Scroll of Wisdom. Now, these that have 3 linked of these colors, they're going to get us one of those chromatic orbs. We can use those chromatic orbs to change the colors of our gem slots here, but it's random, it's weighted. So if the item happens to be a dex item, it's weighted towards green. If it's a strength item, red, and intelligence towards blue, right? So I think that makes sense. Anyway, I pick up this one because they weren't all linked, I guess. Didn't give me the chromatic orb. See if this one does. Linked, it does. So you can see kind of how that basically works. So let's go ahead and we'll say accept. Oh, I know what we can do. I don't know if it'll work with this or not. You can do, oh, is it? Oh, here. So a ring and a gemstone. Nope, didn't get us anything on that one. Never mind. So let's accept here. Now let's come over here to our stash real fast. Somewhere in here I have these. Greater life. Giant, another type of giant. Oh, greater. So if we were to take these 3 greater life flasks, and we'll go ahead and grab them real fast, and turn them in, we'll get the next size up. Right? And this is a grand mana flask. Do we have another? That's a cautious grand. We can't use the next level up of grand, I don't believe, so we're gonna sit on that. But when I can, let's see, that's level 18, level 24. Oh no, we can. Although we already have one, so let's go ahead and throw that one in there. Greater mana flask. Let's go ahead and move some of this stuff out of the way for a moment. So we'll go ahead and turn all these in. And as I get these, I just kind of work my way up on them. You know, turn them all in and get something new as I can. Probably don't need to do it anymore, but it is what it is. So let's go to currency. We can dump all our currency. This is something you pay for. This is kind of just a quality of life thing that you can microtransaction. It will give you this nice, beautiful screen rather than just something that looks like this. We just throw all this stuff up there. It looks like we could get another... we get 3 more prophecies if we wanted on this character. Oh, that's not what we want. Another way to craft is to put an item in here. So this is a lapis amulet. It's just normal amulet. I can put it in here, and then I can use a regal ord on it. That would make it a rare item. I can do that in here as well. I can just drag the stuff in my inventory, right-click on the orb, then left-click on this, and it'll do it. This is just, again, just makes things a little more obvious. I don't need... Well, we'll throw it in there. Just kind of run along there. Sapphire Ring of Excitement. Do I have sapphire rings anywhere? Oh, right here. Now, if I were to take an iron ring... That's the magic one. Let's just take a normal iron ring. Is that a normal one? No. Just a normal, everyday iron ring. There we go. And we turn it here. It should give us something. So let's find that out. We're going to move this glittering topaz ring over. Do we have just a normal, non-magic one? I've got enough of this crap in here at the moment. Clearly. What's that? Superior Bismuth Flask. Plus 35 to all elemental resistances. My elemental resistances right now are garbage. This can go up to 75. It gets capped at there. Every once in a while when you finish a level, it gets... when you finish a range of an act, I guess is the thing, these will get knocked down a little bit. So initially you can cap them all at 75, but then you're going to take a hit. And so now you'll have to have them up to 100 to keep them at 75, and so on and so forth. So you can see mine are terrible. So I probably would rather have this bismuth than the quicksilver. The quicksilver's nice. It makes you go faster. But, whoops, at the moment, it'd be nice to have a little bit more of that. So, let's come back to Yenna. We'll sell some items, and now we'll see when we throw in 3, all of a sudden we get a giant mana flask. So, 2 different ways of crafting. One is to just right-click on something. The other is to turn it in and trade. So here, an iron ring and a stone gets us a topaz ring with lightning resistance. This is going to depend on the color of this, I believe. We don't need another topaz ring, so we're gonna say no for now. We already have a topaz ring that I'm about to sell, so it would be kind of wasted. except there. Goodbye. So a little bit more on crafting, a little bit more on, and we can toss these in here. Grand Life 1824. So it goes down here somewhere. Oh, my nose itches this morning. Green. Throw my gemstone there. Rings. Toss that back up there for now. Currency. There you go. There's that nose. Oh, and we got this extra grand mana flask I need to throw away somewhere too. 1824. Good enough. Did I go too long? I'm not sure where our little pop-ups go here. Clearly I went too long.
Good to see you alive and well, Color.
Master of the Hunt. You run into these masters as you play the game as well. And when you get them to level 3, you can invite them into... Well, when you get one to level 3, you can create a hideout, and then you can invite them in. She's got some stuff to sell. That's interesting. Recurve bow. Posit bow. $12 to $36, $11 to $34. I wonder what the difference between a bone bow... More attacks per second with the recurve. And more critical damage. They both cost an Orb of Transmutation and a Scroll of Wisdom. Let's buy them both. I've been waiting to get her because she sells the Ranger gear, you know? Whoops. Oh, wait, so this one has 3 link spots, which is good, because we would like 3. Now, there's a way to re-roll these to get these. Physical damage, accuracy rating, increased light radius. Those are all pretty garbage. Cold damage and chaos resistance. Chaos resistance is very rare. Not a lot of it. It also gives us additional elemental damage. This gives us extra physical damage. So now what we can do... Let's go ahead and... Man, we went so long I lost my deal. That's weird. Oh well. We didn't need anything on the ground there. We'll survive. Let's go to our stash real fast and come back here to currency. So what we can do is we can throw this in here. These are all 3 not linked. We need them to be linked. So we can use an Orb of Fusing. And there we go. Now they're linked. Now, these bonuses aren't particularly spectacular to me. So I can come over here. This, if I can find it. So now I could upgrade a magic item to a rare item with this, right? This is magic. We could go rare. Now we're rare. So now we have this Cataclysm Guide, recurve bow, 1 to 20 physical damage, 2 life for each hit, 2 accuracy, 10% life rates. We don't really care about any of that. So we can reforge it with new properties. Now we've got some cold resistance, some accuracy, more damage with poison, which we use, and an additional extra cold damage. I think that makes a lot of sense. So you can sit here and re-roll these things ad nauseum. As long as you have stuff to do it with, you can do it. Now, I can remove all properties with this. I can grant a passive skill refund point. I don't need any of that. Or I can corrupt an item, modifying it unpredictably. I've only got one of those. Let's, sure. I don't know if we can do it with this. Now it's corrupted. Okay. Yeah. I think we probably wasted that. I think it gave... I don't remember what it did before. Did anybody else... You'll have to look back to see what it actually did. But now it's 30% increased accuracy, 6 maximum life, 7 cold resistance. We do need resistance, so I'm not going to argue about that if that's what it gave us. So, real quick now, let's take a look to see if any of this is going to change what we have going on here, right? So, offensively, right now we do 180.38 DPS with the bow. So that's, in theory, without magic items. So we drag this out, we'll drag this up. This one does 99.59. Now, when we're down here and we see, we also have this. And you can see that our Caustic Arrow right now with everything does 250.7 DPS. And then, of course, we do additional damage with the poison and the lag and everything else that happens to people. So let's go ahead real fast And we'll change these over here. And now we'll see that we do 174 with this. So we are, in fact, going to do more DPS with our special ability here, although slightly less DPS if we're not doing a magic shot. So clearly, because we always do this, this is going to be our better deal. 174. That's nice. Some of our abilities are going to be ultimately based on this DPS. But, you know, it is what it is. We can see what our other DPSs is. 117 here. 99 with the blink arrow. I'm not quite sure how they figure that. And rain of arrow does 113. So I think that is going to work. So let's come down here and see if we can get back into one of these. We can get into the crypt here. Perfect. Fell Shrine Ruins, that's outside. And we'll just run around for a couple more minutes here and then call it a day. So this is a pretty deep game. There's a lot to it. There are huge help menus. Let's back up a little bit here so we don't get attacked. You go into the help. So say you want to know about vendor recipes. That's where we take things. Here we go. There's the basic one. So if we look at that, you know, there's a fair amount about this. So we can take 3 superior items and it's going to give us an armor scrap. So there we go. That's how we do that. If we have at least 1 socket of each color linked, we can get a chromatic orb. 6 sockets gets us a jeweler's orb. 1 rare item in each slot can be sold for an orb of chance. So you can see there's a lot of these. It's pretty deep, and you could buy yourself a bunch of extra pages in your stash and keep full sets of gear that you don't care about in order to turn it in for this orb of chance. Normal boots, an orb of augmentation, and quicksilver, we can get runner's magical boots. So it's just magic boots that have increased magic movement speed. So, you know, we can do all sorts of stuff like that. Heavy spiked club, weapon, magic sash, and a black's gonna get a heavy magic weapon. So, anyway, you get an idea. There's a fair amount of that there. Let's see, socializing. Here's stuff on the Harbinger League that we're playing in right now. Here's stuff on jewels. Right, so they've got a fair amount of this stuff. Here's stuff on all your currency and what it actually does. Here's a bit on the prophecies. We talked a little bit about that a minute ago. The waypoint. So pretty good help as you're willing to dig into it. And there's a lot of stuff online. So if you want to go into the wikis and stuff, you'll learn quite a bit. And you can just see that poison work on them. Come on. There we go. And yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is the end of kind of our what we called our first look. It's just our first look took a little bit more time than we normally spend, right? 2 episodes. But there's just so much to this game that it just felt like one episode, a little bit of gameplay was not nearly enough to give you an idea of kind of what's available out there and what you should be looking at and how enjoyable the game is. This is the Trial of Ascendancy. There are 6 of them per level. There's 3 levels. Then when you finish them, then you can go into something called a labyrinth, and that will get you additional stuff too. These are essentially just trapped rooms that you have to work your way through. So you can kind of see in here. So I've got all these. So switches will stop or start or unlock gates and stuff like that. I've already done all these, so I'm not going to do it today. This is from a previous league. As different leagues are popular and people like the item, the mechanic of it, it will stay within future leagues or within the standard league, but just toned down a bit. So in this one, we can kill them, and then we get essences. Essences are another crafting item that guarantee you a specific type of attribute on a weapon. So it'll say guaranteed on a one-handed weapon to do poison damage, on a two-handed weapon to do cold damage, on a shield to give you chaos resistance, and on everything else movement speed or whatever it may be. So you have a little bit more control over what you want, and then there's different stages and levels of that. So as you work your way up, a higher essence of the same type will give you the same the same bonus, but a higher bonus, right? So instead of 2 to 6 chaos, it'll give you a 10 to 20 chaos, or whatever the case might be. So anyway, there's all sorts of these little deals scattered throughout. So I'm going to fight this fight, and I'll let you go, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more. Tschüss. There you go. See you guys.